Hi, Megan. Good to see you. Hi, everyone. Oh, I see everyone starting to come online. Feel free to say hello in the comment feed. Rue's here with us for the moment. I'm just gonna, hi. So nice to see you. We're just gonna wait a minute or two for people to gather. I know people are everyone's been looking forward to this. Hi, Sarah. Good to see your beautiful face. Hi, Jolie, Cindy, Jesse, Linnell, Kathy. Awesome. We've got such a great crew for today's day 5 of the 21 Days of Green Tara. Hi, Sarah. Wow, 3 a.m. No doubt. I guess Green Tara wanted you to be here. Hi, Day Chen. Hi, Kaylee. Oh my God, I love our community so much. It's so good to see everybody. Oh, hi, Lindsay. What do you think, crew? She's like, I don't know about this. She wanted to come up here, but then that means she has to balance on my lap. So, hi, Sarah. Hi, Jessica. I'm really happy to see you too, Angel. Hi, Sandy. Good. We've got a good crew. I know. You want to see Rue? No doubt. Look at how cute she is. Oh, she's purring. Ah. I wish you could see her eyes, but if I do, she's gonna be upset with me for having to put her in some strange position. I'm just so happy she's sitting here right now. How's everyone doing? Hi, Martina. Oh, I'm so grateful for everyone gathering today. If you want to share about what's been coming up for you in the comment feed, our team angels are here. So, just let us know how you're doing. Day 5. Wow, we're going to go deep today. I don't really know what's going to happen, as I never know what's going to happen during these transmissions. I do know, hi, Judy. I do know that without a doubt, we're going to be chanting a lot. It's pouring rain here. I don't know if you can hear that. This has been quite the ride for me to do this every day while still holding down everything that I've been doing for the movement and for our business and our ministry and all of the deep, callings that have come in from around the world. But for me, it is so essential at this time to be available, to be able for us to be able to gather this way. It's really got me excited for how we're growing our community and deepening in the medicine of the Ascended Masters, these teachers that have changed my life forever. It's snowing there. Well, that's beautiful. And what we're doing by gathering for 21 days together, it's so important just beyond what we're personally receiving. I'm really starting to witness from all of the comments and all of the feedback that we've been receiving, like this is really, our Green Tara practice together is really creating a lot of light for our communities, for our families, for our friends, and for the entire world. There's so many people, hi Amara, that do not have a personal practice, that do not have mentor relationships with the Ascended Masters, and life is very, very confusing and disorienting for them because of that. When we are in isolation, when we are contained in situations like this, well, this is really unusual for everyone to be contained like this, and it can breed depression, and it can breed thoughts of suicide. It can breed feelings of failure, because a lot of people are struggling with losing their jobs or wondering if they're in the right career. It's just like, this is the time for us to gather. It's so important for us to move from what I call from spiritual infancy to spiritual maturity, because we are needed more than ever. I was talking to someone who does a lot of leadership work themselves and helps a lot of people themselves last night, and we were talking about how it's just not up to a few leaders right now to help us get through this. Like, we all have to activate and become spiritually mature enough to ask ourselves, to paraphrase JFK, asking ourselves not what spirituality can do for us, but what our spirituality can do for this world. And that's spiritual. That is the essence of spiritual maturity, where we understand that our spiritual practice, our relationships with the Ascended Masters, our communion with Sophia God and our higher self, feeds us so deeply that eventually we become an overflowing chalice of light and divine love that's here to flow forward into this world, where we are mature enough to continually to resource our own connection with God, our own connection with the source, so that then we don't need to look to others to fill us up. Does that mean we don't need relationships? No, I'm not saying that, but most of our society is addicted to codependency. Codependent relationships, where we expect our relationships to fulfill what our direct communion with God, both within us and God all around us, can be providing for us through our daily communion in prayer and meditation. And whatever practices bring you joy and help you feel connected to that presence of divine love that is always there, that you could never be separate from, ever separate from, never separate from, ever. No matter what's happening, even in the face of a global pandemic, if anything, this can deepen our relationship with Sophia God. This can deepen our relationship with the presence of divine love. It's an opportunity for us to become very sober to our sovereign creative power, to go within, to call on high, and to receive this communion in ever increasing ways, but in a very, we're becoming more and more clear, like that clarity of like, yes, we own this connection to our source. Yes, we are this source. Yes, we are God incarnate on the front lines of humanity's consciousness evolving. Yes, we are that, and we are nothing less than that. And that is why we are doing the Green TARE Keycode 3 initiation together, that you can find in Chapter 8 of the Sophia Code, because the Keycode 3 initiation proclaims the truth and almighty power of the sovereign divinity within you. If you read this book forwards and backwards, and at least a few times, your body, heart, mind are going to shift into the truth that you can live a life of spiritual maturity and not spiritual infancy. So I'm going to clarify that. I don't know why they really want this to come through right now, because they want us to understand this is the shift we're all going through. Spiritual infancy is when we run to spirituality when it's convenient, and we look to suck on it like a binky when we feel upset or we need relief, or we think we need to cajole God into something that we suddenly need. It's more of a convenience, and more often than not, we're addicted to thinking small thoughts about ourselves, not reaching for our highest potential, and putting divinity as something outside of ourselves. Spiritual maturity, and I'm hearing running from one spiritual high to another. Here's the thing with the Sophia Code. You can get high on God 24 hours a day with this book, with our programs, with our events, and with our community. We are literally in the resonance of the highest frequency this universe has to offer us all of the time. What we realize is that by choosing our direct communion with the source, by choosing to embody our higher selves, we are tapping into a high that keeps us sober from running from one spiritual high to another. Because here's what happens when you're running from one spiritual high to another, you're going to crash in between. It like keeps you in this perpetual rat wheel of like, God, I thought I had reached God for a moment, and now I feel so distant again, and that can breed depression. It can cause you to want to give up in your embodiment. But the truth is that a spiritually mature journey, which we call in the Sophia Code, walking the way. In ancient times, the way was a term for the spiritual journey of self-realization, the spiritual journey of enlightenment that the yogi and the Ascend masters were teaching back in Jesus's time. It's also a term that comes to us from Taoism, which is thousands of years older than mystic Christianity. So the way is this well, the whole book is about how to walk the way, but ultimately it's about this process of activating your divine genome, which is a crystalline technology within every cell of your body. You can activate that crystalline divine genome with the 8 key code initiations in this book, which then builds bridges of light to your carbon base, your human DNA. When those bridges of light have been established, what happens is your chakra systems, your meridians, your neurology of your body begins to operate in a different way. It begins to become open to the downloads of your higher self coming through you in ever increasing measure, further anchoring inside of you. If you've struggled for years with depression or addiction or codependency, it's because you're probably just relying on your human self to overcome those challenges, those addictions. That you can't do it that way. I know, because this was the only way that I could overcome my grief and shame, because that's the root of all addiction, right? Grief and shame, and fear, and feeling we're separate from God. It was by activating my divine genome, watching the spiritual technology in process. Okay, Rue, that's not going to be the way, girl. I can't let you knock the computer over. So where do you want to go with this? Excuse me for just 1 minute. How's it going? Do you want to stay up here? You want to be okay? No? Okay. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much. I love you very much. Yeah, you're still a part of it. Sorry. Okay. So in this process of activating your divine genome, which opens up the technology of your human form to begin to embody the conscious operating system of your divinity, what happens is your human awareness begins to be operated from your divine awareness. When the Ascended Masters showed me this technology, it just blew my mind, because I realized, oh my God, the human body is like a supercomputer. I mean, all of the yogi masters, of course, say that, have taught us that, but that they gave us this technology to be able to flip on all of that switches and then be filled with the Christ light of our higher self, or if you want to call it the Buddha light of your higher self, we consider those two terms the same in this cosmology. And it takes time to integrate the light of your divinity in human form, but as you deepen in that practice, what happens is your entire life changes, because your relationship with life is being operated from a completely different perspective. You are operating from a place of trust. You are operating from a place of self-worth, self-love. You are operating from a place of self-honor, self-celebration, self-forgiveness, self-compassion. That's what the light of your own divinity brings into your body, and even more so anchors into your body. Hi, Charlene. Lovely to see you. There's 8 key code initiations in the Sophia Code, and if you do them in successive order, what's going to happen is your divine genome is all of the switches in your divine genome are going to be flipped on in order. After you do the 8 key code initiations in order, you can go back and redo any of the key code initiations in any order you like at any time. I also suggest listening to the key code initiations as you're falling asleep, because this will help your unconscious, the parts of your unconscious mind integrate these belief systems when you're in a state of no resistance to them. As you integrate the light of your higher self more and more within your body, being able to behave from a spiritually mature context becomes more and more possible, even with all of your hard feelings, because just because we may be spiritually maturing doesn't mean we're not going to have challenging feelings to feel. But from the perspective of your higher self, you're going to learn how to resource your relationship with God, Sophia, whatever you call it. And you're going to learn how to respond to your feelings. You're going to learn how to hold and embrace yourself. And you're going to learn how to resource your relationship with Sophia God in such a way that you can be a greater service to others who have no idea how to access this within themselves.